Now, for our last and most famous session, the hot seat, may I please call upon stage Mr. Manav Tharani. Joining him on stage are Mr. Anupam Dasgupta, General Manager, the Leela Palace, New Delhi; Mr. Jay Rathore, Senior Vice President and General Manager, the Oberoi, New Delhi; Mr. Rajiv Kapoor, General Manager, Fairmont, Jaipur; Mr. Ronan Fearon, General Manager, JW Marriott, Bangalore, Prestige, Golfshire; and Mr. Srijan Vadhera, General Manager, Conrad, Bangalore.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Welcome, gentlemen. I hope you've had a good day today, all of you. So far so good, right? Good. Let me just start with something simple, right? We're bouncing back. It's been a very challenging last 2 years. There's still things that haven't gone back to the way they were. What is your big operational challenges nowadays? I'll start with you, since you're closest to me.
I think it's getting the right people. That's been a tough one for us. Even though we looked after everyone all through the pandemic, there was a fair amount of churn because people just would keep leaving. And that became a big issue for us. And finding the right person to replace that person has become an issue. However, we are much better off than we were, let's say, even 3 months ago.
Jay?
No, I think if you are talking about the biggest one, I have to agree with Anupam because obviously for 2 years there was no action, and then this year business has come back for us, but it has come back for the cruise lines, it's come back for the Middle East, it's come back for the West. And things which we never saw in the past. You wouldn't see a waiter getting a job in London. You wouldn't see half a dozen people walking out because cruise liners, without an interview, at double the salary, have picked up people. And the double whammy is that the last 2 years, like hotels or companies such as the Oberoi, we always pick up fresh people from hotel schools, and the hotel schools were just not recruiting for obvious reasons. And so we're losing good quality people, like I said, essentially to cruise liners and the Western world. And our sources have dried, and I think it'll take another year and a half. We're very hopeful that this year would set things right because business is back, tips are back, people are doing well, people are upgrading their phones, their motorcycles. There's a happy story going back. So, okay. By far the biggest challenge. Thank you.
Rajiv, anything different? Or
very different. We are in the luxury space of destination weddings, right? And sorry to say, COVID has been very kind to us in terms of business. Problem what I'm facing is not getting enough rooms to sell. I'm saying we are full. I told my owner, you make another Fairmont next to it and we're going to fill it. The problem is we have a lot of wedding queries coming up and we don't have so many auspicious dates, right? Very different set of problem. Of course, like everybody else, we are losing a lot of talent on the bottom of the pyramid to going internationally into cruise liners in different countries. But I foresee 2023, this problem will continue for us. Quarter 1 is selling very well for us, so it will continue.
Srijan, do you regret leaving the Fairmont and being in Conrad now?
No.
I told you don't move, but I'm just kidding.
You are the one who got me placed, so...
okay.
Yeah. So,
good timing, right?
by the way, I have a different problem than the rest of my friends on this panel. And the hotel is doing very well. City is doing phenomenal business.
How many boats do you have right now?
No. So we are high and dry. Our hotel is absolutely safe. We have a lake in front, but we are absolutely safe hotel to be in. I think the bigger problem that we have is we don't have a consultant like Hotelivate at our hotel, you know. So I think that's what the problem is. Maybe we can maximize our revenue.
Sure.
And
It's
I
called
explained
asset
that,
management.
Yeah,
No, just kidding.
the asset management. Yeah. So that's what I think is missing. Rest everything is going good.
Right.
Yeah.
Ronan, what do you think has been a challenge?
Well, firstly, Manav, thank you very much for having me here and join the panel. I'm new to India, having arrived just at the end of last year to open the JW Marriott Prestige Golfshire in Bangalore. So we kind of came with a different set of challenges, opening a new resort in a city, a leisure resort synonymous in a city synonymous with business. So changing the mindset of people and putting Bangalore on the map as a leisure destination has been a challenge. Of course, the same issue with manning and the succession planning for people, for our teams has been there. But we're slowly getting the right people, right caliber of people coming through to us.
Right. If you were not a hotelier, then what?
That's a good question. I think one of the things that got me into this industry was, and somebody asked me this about 10 years ago, it's the first time anybody's actually asked me, why did I get into the hotel industry? And I think the reality is that this is a business that is global. And you can move around the world doing whatever you wanted to do.
I'm looking for a short answer. If not a hotelier, what?
I would be still
Astronaut,
involved
doctor?
I would still be involved with travel, something to do with related to travel, because I think the world is a small place.
Right. Srijan?
I don't think so. I can do anything else.
Now you're
except
being
hotel.
diplomatic.
No, I'm not being diplomatic. You know me well. Diplomacy and me don't go hand in hand. I think either.
I think
would
you're
have-
sounding more like a politician, you know.
No.
I mean, now, I mean.
I'm learning from the best. So I think I would have either be part of defense or be a farmer, one of them.
Rajiv?
You know, if you follow my Facebook or Insta, I'm a hiking guy. So if I was not in hotels, I'll be doing hiking tours around the country.
Right. Jay?
Farmer.
Farmer.
I would
Anupam?
have been a forester.
Forester.
Yes.
Okay, interesting. Interesting. Anupam, your worst nightmare as a GM?
To have a dead body in my hands.
Okay.
In your hands.
In your hands?
In the sense,
I don't want to be cruel, but you did have a body in your hotel a few years ago.
no, I'm not talking
Publicly.
Fortunately, no,
You have
I've
to be
had,
careful when you say such things.
no,
you know.
I've had, like in my 14 years, I've had, I think that's my,
The only time you...
as a GM, no, I've managed many hotels, and I think that is the biggest nightmare that I've faced in my earlier
Sure.
hotels. Can't specify where, but that really is the greatest challenge, to deal with all the complexities that come with it, and dealing with the people, etc. So I think that teaches you so much.
Sure.
But yeah, that's the toughest one.
Sure.
Really.
Jay, how about you?
I think anything to do with safety and security of people that you are responsible for, your guests, your team, in my case, my family as well, because I live in the hotel. I think anything which compromises safety
Sure.
and security.
Sure. You want to give that a shot?
Yeah, safe for me. A fire in a hotel, biggest nightmare for us. And especially, when you stay away from the hotel, tough.
Is it the same for both of you?
No,
or
actually, I
any-
faced one full house, 500 guests at the hotel, and there were flash floods, and everything just got flooded. So no electricity, no water, no AC, no elevator, nothing. And that was
Now-
actually
now.
no, not the one, not now.
So you're well prepared.
In one of the hotel, I can't name the hotel.
You were well prepared.
Yeah.
Ronan, how about you?
I've actually experienced a fire in a hotel. Half of the hotel burnt down. And that was a pretty difficult thing to do. So anytime I can smell anything burnt, it kind of still puts that shiver in. And anytime your engineer calls you in the middle of the night, you know it's not a good sign.
Right, right. So Ronan, revenue or gross profit?
Well, I think at the moment with our property, I think revenue has to be the focus. I think we are fortunate having a new hotel not to have the baggage of the past 2 years. So our big effort, our big focus now is to go forward on revenue and driving that. That's going to lead the recovery because the gross profit can follow after that.
Right. How about you, Srijan?
Profit.
Profit?
Revenue is the solver for every problem, right? So absolutely revenue.
How about you? Yeah.
Well, ideally both, and obviously if there was
You're being
time, no, I'm not being diplomatic. That's one thing I don't know how to be, but and there are pros and cons, and it can be debated. But I know this is not the time. But if you were to put a gun to my head, I would say top line.
Right. How about you?
Profit all the way.
Profit all the way? You know we're lining up something nice, special today for you guys, so we'll see what happens. Your celebrity crush?
That's a tough one. Oprah Winfrey.
Hmm.
Oprah Winfrey.
Jay, you want me to come back since you're really giving that a heart?
I am. Yeah, I
Your
don't know.
wife's not here. It's okay. You know, it's fine, and they won't.
She'll
go on.
probably find out.
That's okay. She may also find out what's going to come next, and things could go bad for you there too. So
Which is okay, because it also tells my age and that I'm past my prime. Madhuri Dixit.
okay. How about you?
Aishwarya Rai.
All right.
Malika Sherawat.
Oh, has she performed at one of your hotels?
I wish she performs. I haven't experienced.
In the dreams. That's okay. Ronan?
Well, I'd love to go for a Bollywood actress, but for many years I would love to have had Scarlett Johansson in my hotel, but it's never happened.
Right. Hoteliering is tough, right? So, bungee jumping or skydiving for you?
Bungee jumping.
Skydiving.
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 Neither. I'm afraid of heights.
Oh, wow. You're going to love the next one then. I'm just kidding. So, we're going to, I don't know, what background are you from? Housekeeping or, front office? Any of you? Any of you worked in housekeeping?
Food and beverage.
Food and beverage.
F&B.
F&B.
Sales and marketing.
Sales and marketing.
Oh, then we're going to love this one. So we're going to take 2, 3, maybe we're going to give you 3 minutes. 3 minutes, I think. That's good. What's a good time to make a nice towel thing for a nice room, right? Is there anyone from housekeeping? I mean, 3 is 4 minutes. How much time do you think we
It's banned in my hotel.
should? 3 minutes, 4 minutes.
Towel art.
Towel art.
Oh my God.
Okay, so if the
Stuff of nightmares.
If the 5 of you can just step up, try your best. It's okay. 3, 4 minutes we'll give you. And if you really mess up, we'll give you a fresh one. No,
This is to welcome the guests, right?
yes, the one we put on the bed. And by the way, all of you will get to vote on it. So you can start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we will vote on it.
I'm going to wrap myself and be on the bed.
There you go. So the first one is done. So that's Anupam. Just standing vertically. I got it to stand vertically. Mr. Oberoi will not really approve of that one. He may just send you back to OCLD. Yeah, because people like you are making it, of course it'll get banned. It's getting recorded. It's going to get sent back to all the operating teams in the hotels, right? Because what is that, Ronan?
I'm not sure where it is. Almost like a coffin.
Yeah. And what are you making, Srijan?
Oh, that's cancer awareness sign.
Right. And that's what you want to tell the guests that they're coming in, that we take care of cancer? Right. So, guys, can we put the polls on, if you don't mind? Can we put polls? And if you can go online and vote for these 5 wonderful, if you want, we can just vote. And Anupam is winning, 100%. My God. No. Rajiv, where's your team? They're not even voting for you. You're at 0.
It's just standing vertically. I just wanted to stand.
We've got 21 votes. Come on, there are more than 24 people in the room. Rajiv, you're doing really poorly in the votings, you know. Anyway, so we'll get people to keep voting. We can have a seat, you know, get you back to do. So at least we know that you'll be a little bit more kind to your housekeepers from now on, right? So let's see, what else do we want to ask? You know, name a current industry trend which is there today which you think is going to be short-lived.
Short-lived. That's a tough one. Can we come back?
Sure.
I don't know, probably city staycations once life normalizes. Because that's something, you know, we saw, you know, I speak of my hotel. We saw a fair bit when everything was shut. And now, why would anybody come to the Oberoi in New Delhi for a city staycation? Everything's open, people are driving out. So that's my live learning.
Sure. Of course, you're full, you know, nothing can go wrong.
No, but you know, within the wedding segment of luxury, we have seen last 2 years a lot of trend change. We are doing 2 weddings to 3 weddings a day on same time in a hotel buyout, right? This is unheard of, right? I have managed last year 88 weddings at Fairmount. This year we're doing 100. And we have done 3 barats in one day.
Right.
Different angles and managing different gates. So this will all change.
Right.
I think wedding at business hotels, that's going to change. Nobody's going to come to, and even business hotels won't need it also. So you guys are going to go full again. Don't worry on that.
Ronan?
I think the meeting room is dead. I think people are going to have conferences and meetings in unique destinations, unique facilities. And as we were talking earlier with Dilip, this is great for all of us to come out of a hotel to be in a destination like this. So I think whether it's a corporate meeting or a wedding, people are looking for experiences, and that traditional meeting room or that traditional ballroom is going to have to evolve as time goes on.
You should do your meetings in the tunnels that you've got running between the buildings and your hotel.
I have a big walkway that we could do a nice event.
Right. So, you know, just going forward from there. No, he did. Oh, you want to? Sure.
So I'm not too sure about the meetings.
Anupam is still thinking about the towel, you know, and how is he going to handle that?
Actually, it looks like a dead chicken. So, yeah. No, so I don't think meetings are going to change the way we are saying it here, but definitely this year and maybe the next, we will see a certain amount of slowdown in terms of the number of people traveling in for meetings internationally. But I think going forward, the business is all about meeting people and striking deals and all of that. Yes, perhaps the formalized boardroom space that you speak about, that may undergo a change once and for all.
Right. Ronan, what's the best advice you've received in the last 2 years?
The best advice I have received is when we're developing people, we often have the ability to point out what they could do better. And we start to really focus on their weaknesses. Even people in our own team, we notice things. And a gentleman told me this whole, the Clifton Strengths Finder, of really to focus on people's strengths. Because if you have a goldfish in a bowl and a monkey in a tree, and you start to judge the goldfish and its ability to climb a tree, he'll be forever demotivated. So focus on people's strengths, not on their weaknesses.
Good. Srijan?
Is to slow down a little bit and also to count our blessings. I think in the last 2 years, that's something that I really, really value, what has been taught. Yeah.
Right. Rajiv?
We are going big time in digital, and best advice what we are getting recently at Accor, all the general managers, we had a training. digital marketing throughout the way. And so I think so that's the way forward in every investment what we're doing for Accor.
Right. Jay?
For the last 20 years that I've been working for the Oberoi Group, I've had one simple formula. When I get stuck, when I don't know what to do, I call Mr. Oberoi. And in the last 2 years, with COVID, there were many times where we were faced with situations and we didn't know how to deal with it. Or we had an idea, but we were definitely not sure. So if we're talking about the best advice, it came to me from Mr. Oberoi. It was about don't panic, ensure momentum, and be stable, and be there for your team.
Sure. Great advice.
I think there are two things here. One is never change and always be authentic in terms of your leadership. I think that's very important, and that's one thing that I really stand by. The other thing is something that I have learned over the last few years to do, and I think that's really helped me in my leadership, which is to keep taking a step back and being critical of my operation, to not to be reactive to things, but to respond. So I think that's something that I think that's great advice that I've received.
Sure. Srijan, I'll start on this one. What's the worst lie you've told a guest?
Too many of them now. You made me think.
That's why we want to know the worst.
Worst lie. Yeah, there are too many. I think that to be honest. Yeah, the worst one which I couldn't handle was.
You made the towel?
No. One of my colleagues forgot to put it on the BEO that there is a meeting next very day, and there were 60 guests who turned up, and we were not aware. So we just had to cook up a story that there's some problem, there's short circuit, and we couldn't handle. We need some time, and the guests could find out, and he gave it to me. So that was the worst lie and very sad one. But I couldn't cook up anything else. So there were 60 guests who were in the lobby, and we were not aware that they are here for a conference.
Ronan, how about you? I'm at the golf course.
I'm on the 17th hole, and I'll be back in a few minutes. No, it's that's to my wife. No, I always feel that I'm going to be super dull here, but I'm gonna go for the Fifth Amendment. I really go when there is an issue with a guest. I'm just open and transparent. If we screwed up, we screwed up, and it's just been a way because I feel if you lie once, you have to keep lying to keep it going, right? To cover your tracks. So
You never lied, basically.
No, I was on the 11th hole, not the 17th.
Not the 17th one, yeah.
Rajiv?
No lies at all in life.
Oh, come on, Rajiv.
No.
Come on, guys.
Only problem I face is with my wife, right? Not reaching on time, kids. And there has been a lot of excuses, not the lies. But yeah, from a guest point of view,
really,
transparency is the best way forward.
I think the audience is having a hard time here.
I'm glad I got there first.
No, even if it's the team who has done a mistake, we are the umbrella, right? We take the shield, we take the bullet. So let's face it. No.
Jay?
I will take every bullet. That's why we wear heavy jackets.
Jay?
Now, obviously, I try to be the way Ron is, but it'll be a lie if I say that I've never lied. So
there you go. See, now he's my guy. No, I'm just kidding.
15 years ago, Vineet Mishra is somewhere at the back, who was working with me at that time.
He's got his hands on his head.
Anyway, cut to the chase. We had to bounce. We were sold out, and we were very confident. We used to do it all the time, and we used to balance back, check out and check in, because majority of the movement used to happen at night, with all your international movement happening at night. And that was one particular day, and we just got stuck. because there was a guest who promised to check out and didn't check out, and basically it was a partial lie. But to the incoming guest, what do I say? That the guy refuses to move and I can't do anything? I didn't. So we said that the guy was violently sick and this and that. And then I think it was Vineet or one of my executives who drove to the airport and drove the guest to Taj. And so I've got Preeti there, who was with me, who's now with him, who's nodding because she knows. But anyway, that was it.
So I wouldn't really call this a lie. I think.
Yeah, it's a diplomatic kind
no,
of
No,
a
really,
lie.
honestly, I think we come from the same school where we teach our teams to
Lie?
To not to lie. And it'll be wrong for me to say that I've never lied about anything. But generally speaking, it's always owning up to things, and I feel it really works that way.
Right. I guess I'm not going to get that out of you guys. I'll stick with you.
Sure.
If you could make one person disappear, who would it be and why?
Well, there are a few guests in my hotel, but I can't name any.
I have.
As long as they're in your hotel and not, you said you wanted to do farming, right? As long as they're not at the farm, I guess.
No, there are some guests from hell, and I'd much rather they're not here in my hotel.
They'd rather be the Oberoi's next door, right? Maybe it's the same guest.
I was about to say, a lot of these guys, they haunt us alternatively.
Right,
But yes, I've had my share over the years.
right. Rajiv, how about you?
If hired guys are here, so I'm talking about a gentleman name. He's very close to my heart. He's one of my mentors, but I'm talking about 18 years ago, I really wanted him to vanish. His name is Shaji Paul. I love him. Today, F&B I've learned. So we've been to La Piazza. Vikram knows him. Right. What a guy. But a great mentor. So love him. We need more Shajis in the industry, but that time I wanted him to just go away.
Right. Srijan?
I would want asset managers to just disappear.
Good, I'm not asset managing your hotels, it's okay.
No, I'm not talking about you. You are. I want asset managers to just disappear. I just don't want them to exist. Yeah.
Good. How about you, Ronan?
I think we should have a TripAdvisor for guests. It would be lovely to have this, and we could all just chip in and go, oh, he also stayed in my hotel, and we could do that. I think there's a...
We should rate him back and say, we should rate the guest
No,
here.
we should just have a like button.
Right.
Just like the Uber driver rates you as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Right. Ronan, you answered that already? You answered as well, right? When the time comes, right? When the time comes, Ronan, what advice would you give to your successor?
I think what I give my successor the same advice as I live every day is there's three groups of people that you just need to take care of at all times, right? One is the owner, one is the guest, and one is the associate. And if you can just keep these things, pardon?
In that order, your owner first?
I think to be honest, I think it's a triangle, right? And I think the triangle, a triangle can be many shapes at different times, right? So I think it depends on the needs of the business at the time. So they all have their place.
Srijan, I'll twist it for you.
Oh,
It's
okay.
getting too easy otherwise, right? Who do you turn to advice, other than your asset managers, of course?
Usually to my owner.
Right.
Yeah.
That seems like a lie, and I'm just kidding.
No, I'm not lying. Believe me. You know it. Mr. Omar bin Jung is the one who is considered to be a very tough owner. But believe me, there are times when I'm stuck. I just call him and say, "This is where I'm stuck. Now tell me what to do." So it works both ways. One, he feels that I've informed him, and second, I get to know what he's thinking, and third is I get a buy-in from him.
Right. Rajiv?
Say for me also owners, right? That's the most important thing at our level for GMs. And once you tackle that part, the other two parts are easy to handle, right? Because once you go to owner's point for discussing something, you want to get your buy-in done, like what Srijan said. So yeah, that's for
Right,
me.
right. Jay, do you have
Mr. Oberoi.
okay. I think you have got a simple one, right? So, Anupam?
So, for the longest time, I never took work home. And I sort of, it was my policy to not to discuss work at home, etc. But over the years, I've realized that some of the best advice I get from my wife, Britta. So it's not the moral stuff. I mean, that's quite easy to me. But whenever there's a 50-50 kind of a thing, I do run it past her, and she gives me amazing advice. So
Right.
that's it.
Right. Jay, coming back to you, if you could write a book about yourself, what would be the title?
Can I think?
Sure. Will you come back today, or
Yeah.
do you need to finish the book?
No. Give me 2 minutes.
Okay. Rajiv, if you had to text your boss, right, without him knowing it was you, what would you write and what that message would be? Shall I give you some time as well?
Yeah, I think so.
You guys are going faster than, I can put these questions together.
What about 6-letter word?
Right. Srijan, how about you? One thing that you could change about yourself, what would that be?
I don't want anything to be changed about myself. I'm pretty cool the way I am. सर वो आप कह रहे हो कि चेंज करूं, मैं तो नहीं कह रहा कि मेरे को चेंज करना है.
Right.
I'm blessed that with the way I am.
Anupam, what was something that you did because you thought was cool, but now you are embarrassed about?
Giving up Hindustani classical music.
Okay.
Yeah, I learned it at the age of 4, and I think it was, I let go of it, and it's difficult to get back to it if you
Right.
lose the momentum.
Right. Okay. Ronan, how do you plan to improve your golf game over the next 6 months?
Call in sick a couple of days a week. The golf is the answer to that question is an honest answer. Is to stop listening to people who give you advice on your game. Just go and play.
Right? Do your bosses play with you?
My boss doesn't know I play.
He doesn't know.
He encourages. He encourages.
Nice answer. Nice answer. How's the book coming along?
Intense.
Intent?
I said intense.
Intense. Okay. Rajiv, where are we with your message?
No,
Have
I
you-
think so.
Have you sent it already? You can share it with this group.
No.
I promise you, no one is going to reach
I've
out.
got a lovely boss. No lies, nothing to hide.
Right.
But yeah, if
I know,
my
but-
boss gets something that hotel performance is down or values are integrity down, it's not going to happen. He knows about it.
No, I think you're being very diplomatic, Rajiv. It's a bit of a disappointment on that front. Yeah, we know you better. Right. I think we're running. I don't know how much time we have, but Ronan, 3 things on your bucket list.
Play golf better. No, I think one of the things that's truly on my bucket list is to really explore India as much as I possibly can over the next however many years I'm here. It's been an incredible country to arrive into. I've worked with Marriott for a few decades now, and the chance to be in India has been incredible. So that's absolutely number 1 on the bucket list. Number 2 is definitely to improve in golf, because I have a golf course at my doorstep, but just don't really have enough time to perfect that. And 3 is really, as Srijan said, we've been through a rough couple of years, and family is important, and spend a little bit more time with my children.
Srijan,
Make more money.
how many jobs will you change, yaar, Srijan?
No,
Just kidding.
I know. I'm just waiting for you to get me another one wherein I get paid more. So 1 is to make more money, 2 is to quit alcohol, and 3 is to spend more time with my family.
Okay. Rajiv?
Open the ultra luxury at the back of Fairmont, which is Raffles Jaipur. Of course, spend more time with the family. That's in the list. I'm in Jaipur. I haven't seen much of Rajasthan. So this year in agenda is to travel and discover Rajasthan.
None of you are doing the towel thing that you want now. Just kidding.
Not at all.
Jay?
You know, I think bucket list means things I want to do before I die, right? One, I think I want to contest an election. So that is one. Two, which I'm very close to, I come from rural India, rural Madhya Pradesh. I'm looking at starting something for the rural girl child. So that's two. And three is to quit smoking.
Nice one.
One is to become a better swimmer, because I really suck at it.
Are you changing jobs with Srijan because you need that skill in Bangalore?
Right. To become a better golfer as well. Again, that's something I'm working on. The third is eventually to open an orphanage and an animal shelter.
Right.
It's something right up there in my list of things to do.
Right. So I have a few things that maybe we can do a kind of a poll on this. Mir, we'll do a poll on this. You know, what is your preferred talent retention strategy? Because I think talent has been the biggest challenge, right? So I'm going to give 4 choices. Training as number 1. Increased compensation as number 2. Better mobility across properties and locations as number 3. And better work environment. And if we can have a poll, but we'll wait for the poll. Let's. Do you want to, before we put it up for others to vote, but do you have any thoughts on that?
So I think number 4 is number 1 for me.
Better work environment?
Yes, better work.
Does that mean better work-life balance? Is that what you're
Yeah,
defining
I guess,
it as?
yeah, I guess better work, better life balance.
Yeah, so that's 1.
Okay.
Number 2 is training. I mean, the
Training,
others
which
are-
was not okay. Training was there as
Training,
number.
I would say coaching and mentoring more than training.
Right.
Coaching and mentoring, people should feel that there's value addition to them. That's what I feel
Right.
is important.
Jay, how about you?
You know what? I think I'll agree with Anupam, because if you mean work-life balance, that's on everybody's lips. So work-life balance, number 1. Training, number 2. Possibility to transfer and grow, number 3. And then obviously everybody wants more money. But I think on the whole, when you look at hundreds of people, and if we have to speak in general, I'd say compensation would be 4.
Right.
Yeah, for me, better work environment, definitely number 1. And better compensations. And number 2, training and mobility.
Okay. Srijan?
I think current scenario, number 1 for me to retain would be better compensation, because I think hotels pay really low in terms of what other industries are paying. So number 1 is compensation, number 2 would be mobility, and number 3 would be training.
Right. Ronan?
Yeah, I think they all have a real big part to play. I think once you have that better work environment, people are a little bit more engaged. You have to do the training. The mobility is a great thing that companies can offer now to move around. And then I feel the compensation, while I agree with Srijan, is that the people, you just need to pay a little bit more to the people on the front line to make sure that they're fully engaged in what they do. And if you have all of these 4 things going at the same time, then their overall compensation will dramatically improve over time, because they're going to be better trained and they're going to be in better positions.
So it's interesting if you see the results, right? There's very, very, and it worries me because there's very, very little emphasis on training. You know, and you know, so we want to hire people, but we don't want to necessarily train them. You know, you said training was right there, but I feel sad because we're in an education institute. We want to hire, but we're saying, you know what, training, you know, just hiring people and paying them is not going to get you anywhere. So I think there's something that we need to rethink as an industry, because I find that surprising, actually. That's what at least the audience is saying, and they're getting influenced by GMs like you guys. Sure.
It won't take much time. Our line of work, and especially if we're talking about our staff which face the guest, if they're not well trained, then you'll have mishaps and they will lose confidence. And you may be paying them well, But a guy who gets yelled at or has a series of bad experiences with the guest will quit. Okay?
Right.
So the chance, if we're talking retention, making things better, you will see that well-trained people are more confident, they deliver better, they get recognized, and that way they rise faster and the compensation obviously improves.
And
But well-paid, poorly trained employees don't last.
Right.
And I would just add that most of us in this room have been like these students here today, who have come in, have learned the ropes, have been well trained, and we've got to where we've got to today. So training is a very important pillar.
Right. Obviously we need to focus a lot more on training because you guys were disastrous out here. And I really want you to make a commitment that when you go back in the next 1 week or 2 weeks, you will at least attempt to learn how to make these towels.
However ugly my heart looks like a heart.
Somebody's won, right?
Yeah, okay. Shall we send this to your housekeeping team and let's see if they approve it or not?
Total disaster.
You said, Jay, that you don't do this at the Oberoi's. Is it just the Delhi property? Because I think I've been to some of the other
Maybe
Oberoi's.
Tridents.
The Villases, certainly.
Occasionally, maybe they've done it as an exception, or if your profile says Manav Thadani loves towel arts made by Jay Rathore, then it's a different deal altogether.
Right, okay. I think we're going to run out of time, but just, maybe a last round of questions, right? We'll go around the podium here. Ronan, I'll start with you. If you had a choice of being a GM of one of the other hotels on the panel, can't choose your own hotel, which hotel would you choose?
I definitely think I would choose Rajiv's because I think my wardrobe would improve dramatically if I was working at the Fearon Jaipur.
Right. Srijan, you want your old job back?
I think I can't choose my own hotel, right?
Right.
I can choose yours. Yeah, that's a
No,
pretty
no,
cool
you're being
hotel.
diplomatic.
No, I'm
on a
not
more
being
serious
diplomatic.
note,
No,
right?
I'm done with Fairmont. That's a great hotel. I think JW is what I would like to.
Not available.
Not available, I know.
Right. Rajiv?
I will also like to go to JW and play some golf there.
Swap. Done.
Great. How about you, Jay?
I think I've made no bones about it. My favorite hotel in Delhi is the Imperial.
No, but you can't
But
choose that. You have to choose.
Then obviously the Leela.
Back.
It's a fantastic hotel.
Right. You're not going back to farming. So just kidding. By the way, I do have one more question. Which political party are you joining?
That is something which I need to decide,
Right,
and you'll be the first to know.
right. Congress needs help. I'm just kidding. That'll put you in good practice. Anupam, how about you?
Golf.
Golf? How many of you actually play golf?
I do.
Oh, wow. We should invite many of you for the HICSA conference that we're having a golf tournament. Do we have any questions from the audience? Oh, there are some questions. There they are. We'll take one or two. Which one do you want to guys? Do any of you want to just go pick one of them? You guys can vote which question is more important. So if you vote on that question, then that goes up in rankings, so you can then ask that question. Actually, I like the third one. Where did it go? No, it disappeared. Oh, it just disappeared. As soon as I liked it, it just kind of disappeared. Well, it was, what do you currently hate the most about your hotel? Rajiv? Other than that you don't have enough rooms.
I think so. Too much band baja barat next to my office.
But isn't that you? That the whole dressing thing and...
No, but I cannot concentrate, and he's been in that office, right? And all those amazing experience of the Fairmont, right? Those drums, what you see, everybody gets the flower petals, but my office is just next to them.
Right.
Dude, you should be out taking care of the guests, not be in the office now. I never had any problem in that office.
Anupam or Jay, what's the worst thing about your current hotel?
I think one of the best things about where the hotel is situated was the...
What do you hate about it?
So I'm coming
Sure,
to it. So
sure.
it was all the greenery around me, around the hotel. It was very leafy and there were these low-rise buildings, government buildings, but there's a lot of redevelopment that's happening around, and I think that is sort of changing the landscape, and I don't like that about it.
Sure, sure. I'm going to go to the last question and then we'll wrap it up. I'm going to take the one which has 13 people asking. Why are hotels simply unable to or reluctant to introduce 5-day work weeks across the board? We keep talking about work-life balance, but we are hardly doing any concrete action. So any of you think that we should have a 5-day work week? And then I'll call up the owners and we can have a chat.
Please, we need your support on that. For a change, I think we need support from big giants like you to say,
Asset
okay,
managers?
In current scenario, on the way there is a turnover of staff and how we are running around to make hotel work, this seems to be a far-fetched target. But if you ask me, as a general manager, I'm in favor for 5 days a week. And eventually at my hotel, I will definitely come with 5 days a week. But in current scenario, because there's too much of turnover, we have training, retaining and all, I think current scenario, it looks a little difficult. But eventually it should happen. We tried it actually also. But
I think I agree with him.
Sorry? It is 6 days right now.
If I can
It's
share,
old.
we have 5.5, like basically.
Yeah, same as us.
yeah, same for us. We are doing 6 offs in a month, but there are a couple of Accor hotels, even big boxes. Pullman is doing 5 days a week. So I'm sure as Accor we have a plan to go about it, and it's going to come.
For all staff, including the front line?
Everybody. Right, but I think so. That's the way forward. Last 13 years I was not in India. All international hotels are 5 days working.
Thank you, gentlemen.
So.
And it's a pleasure having you here. So thank you so much for being so supportive. Let's give them a big hand of applause.
Thank you.
Okay.